Zillow just ranked the 50 largest U.S. metros for 2026, and the #1 buyer-friendly market in America is Indianapolis. This chart shows why. Mortgage rates have flattened to a predictable 6.3%, while luxury inventory has surged by 34%. Where these lines intersect is the buyer's sweet spot. Carrying costs are stable, giving you breathing room to negotiate. If you are relocating from a high-tax coastal market, this stability means a $1.5 to $3 million purchase comes with predictable monthly payments and real purchasing power. But there's a catch to that top-level data. The term buyer's market is a massive generalization. On the ground, the Indianapolis luxury tier is fiercely segmented by neighborhood. To actually capitalize on this window, you have to throw out the generic search apps. You need to align your capital with the specific behaviors of 3 distinct micromarkets. Before picking a zip code, we need to look at the replacement cost price index. This is the metric that dictates whether you build new or buy established. This value gap matrix plots cost against turnkey readiness. New construction carries an 8 to 15% premium. Converted to a bar graph, this gap represents the massive interior square footage you gain by choosing the resale market. Beyond just the footprint, buying an existing estate secures mature tree lines, larger land parcels, and established neighborhood infrastructure that new developments lack. The obvious trade-off is condition. Buying resale means allocating capital to cosmetic updates, smart home integration, or wellness spaces to bring a property up to 2026 standards. For buyers moving from major coastal cities, funding those renovations out of pocket is easily absorbed by the initial savings on the purchase price. The math is clear. The smartest way to deploy wealth in Indianapolis is to skip the new construction premium entirely and target established estates. Looking at our map of the northern suburbs, we start with Carmel. This is the highest inventory target in the $750,000 to $6 million range. That 34% surge in inventory we saw earlier is heavily concentrated right here. Sellers are competing for your attention. This matrix tracks local market leverage. In the Carmel column, we can see the direct result of that inventory. Roughly 34% of luxury listings are currently taking price reductions. To capture those discounts, you have to be willing to take on a property that isn't perfectly move-in ready. This makes Carmel the primary target for executives and families who want immediate pricing power, alongside top-tier school districts and amenities like the Arts and Design District. It rewards the pragmatic buyer. You trade perfect condition for heavy negotiation leverage and immediate access to premium community infrastructure. Just to the west, Zionsville offers a completely different environment. Here, the $1 million-plus market is defined by walkable village charm and sprawling acreage hidden behind dense tree canopies. The mechanics here are the exact opposite of Carmel. Inventory is exceptionally tight, meaning sellers hold the cards, and you have almost zero room to negotiate on the asking price. Returning to our market matrix, the Zionsville column shows a very low inventory dial, but look at the trend line. Local data forecasts a strong 6 to 11% appreciation upside through the end of the year. This is the market for wealth preservers. It attracts buyers who want a secure, high-yield location to park their capital. Zionsville is the definitive long-term play. You give up the upfront discount, but you secure multi-year equity growth inside an exclusive enclave. Finally, we have Geist Reservoir and Fishers. This is the region's premier resort-style pocket, driven entirely by the waterfront lifestyle. The constraints here are severe. At any given time, there are only about 34 to 40 active listings in the core waterfront segment. As the final column on our matrix shows, the inventory squeeze forces a rapid pace. Quality properties here are going under contract in an average of just 42 days. While homes further inland sit at a lower median, true estates with private docks start near $800,000 and climb rapidly into the multi-millions. Geist is strictly for the lifestyle optimizer. Pre-approval, speed, and aggressive offers completely override any expectation of scoring a buyer's discount. If luxury inventory is up 34% across the board, you might be wondering why it's so hard to find a pristine, move-in-ready $2 million estate on the public real estate apps. This iceberg chart explains the contradiction. The visible 30% above the waterline represents the public MLS, but a massive 70% of the absolute finest luxury estates in Indianapolis actually transact privately, completely underwater. When we zoom in on that top 30%, we see that the public listings are largely made up of homes that have been sitting on the market, properties requiring heavy updates, and listings actively cutting their prices. But down in the 70% off-market tier, you find the immaculate, turnkey properties. These are the quiet sales and corporate relocations from giants like Eli Lilly and Roche that trade hands through closed broker networks. Relying solely on a public search app mathematically locks you out of the highest tier real estate this city has to offer. To navigate this, we've built a decisional logic tree. Your next step depends entirely on identifying your primary objective for 2026: family infrastructure, wealth preservation, or an exclusive waterfront lifestyle. If you follow the family infrastructure path, your target is Carmel. Your strategy is to lock in a 6.3% rate and aggressively negotiate concessions on homes that need cosmetic work. If your path is wealth preservation, your target is Zionsville. Deploy your capital upfront without expecting a discount and position yourself to capture that 6 to 11% appreciation upside. And if you are pursuing the exclusive waterfront path in Geist, abandon the public listings entirely. Your only viable action is securing access to a private, off-market network. The Indianapolis market is currently in a state of perfect balance. There is no impending crash, and the frantic bidding wars of the past few years are definitively over. But this buyer advantage is not a passive guarantee. It rewards the people who match their specific lifestyle demands with hard micro-market data and exclusive private access.